Hey, how are you guys doing? I didn't see you there. Surprise! So I had to make another trailer review because the third and final X-Men Apocalypse trailer dropped just yesterday, and I have to talk about this. There has a lot of familiar footage, stuff we've seen in the past two trailers and online over the past few months, but there's also some pretty new and interesting things as well that I have to talk about. So like most movie trailers that are coming out these days, I feel like this one gives away a lot of what's happening in this film. It gives basically some point of at least every scene. It feels like I'm seeing almost the entire movie already. Of course, I hope they hold some things back, but I don't know. I just don't like it when they show me an entire movie. There's a lot of things I'm going to be talking about in this video that I liked and didn't like. Mostly likes, but there will be the occasional dislike. But it looks like an exciting movie, and I can't wait to see it. So first up, what I liked was Quicksilver. Now, I can't wait to see Evan Peters back as the Speedster once again. I thought he did a phenomenal job in Days of Future Past. He was probably one of the most fun characters in that film. He gave a whole new breath of fresh air. It was very exciting to see that whole sequence where he slowed down time and knocked stuff over. We're going to get another scene, I think, kind of similar to that, but maybe like a sped up instead of a slowed down version. But it's going to be like with Evan Peters like right in the middle, so he's going to be like going super fast. That looks like it's really, really exciting. Another big thing about Quicksilver in this trailer is that they mention how he knows that his father is Magneto. Now, they kind of tease this in Days of Future Past, but they are actually acknowledging it in this film. I wish they had not put that in the trailer and saved it for the actual film, but unfortunately, of course, they added it because this was a real thing in the comics. I think it's a massive Easter egg that, although it may not have a big impact on the movie universe, I think it's just something that's really fun that's maybe not everyone knows. The casual fan probably won't know, but for the comic book people, they do know, and it's kind of exciting. So if I would have seen it in theaters, and he would have made that same mention that Magneto is his father, I think I would have probably been way more excited. But now that I see it in the trailer and I know what to expect, and I know that it's going to come, I'm not that excited about it anymore. Another character that I'm super excited to see is Nightcrawler. I like how they're going to have him in like this sort of cage match with a couple of people. I'm not sure if it was Angel that he was fighting. He was fighting another mutant in like this cage match type of thing. But I'm excited to see him back. He looks pretty cool. I liked him in X2. I didn't really like the Alan Cummings version of Nightcrawler. They kind of added some things that I wasn't too excited about, with like him being like overly religious and stuff like that. I hope they kind of cut that out. I think it's kind of interesting how they kind of give him like this emo sweep hair thing over his eyes. But I think it's going to be exciting. I love how Nightcrawler fought in X2. It looks like they're bringing this back for Apocalypse, where he kind of like pops in and out while fighting people. It looks really exciting, and I think that's another fresh character that deserves a little bit more spotlight than he got since X2. I'm super excited to see some more Hank McCoy. I hope they give him a little bit more emphasis in the film. And from the trailer, it looks like he has a fight with Psylocke. Also, he, of course, has some interactions with Mystique because they have a back-and-forth relationship since First Class. Hopefully, he gets a little bit more spotlight. I love his character. I love Nicholas Hoult. Hopefully, they can kind of put more emphasis on him. I know Beast isn't one of the major players of X-Men. Well, he is kind of in the cartoons. But he's one of the most loved characters. If I see somebody who likes X-Men, they'll be like, my favorite character is Beast or Gambit. Or it's like the smaller characters that tend to get like the big attention. But the films kind of give the wrong attention to the wrong characters sometimes. But hopefully that will give us a little bit more Beast. Another really exciting character that I can't wait to see, which has always been my favorite X-Men, is Cyclops. Now, he's going to be a lot younger in this film. This takes place in the 80s, I believe. Since First Class was in like the 60s, then Days of Future Past was in the 70s. Now Apocalypse is in the 80s. I'm super excited to see Cyclops. I've always loved Cyclops for some reason. Ever since the 90s cartoon of X-Men, he's been my favorite character. I love the blue and yellow suit, which of course I don't think he's going to get in the film franchises. But he's always been one of my favorite characters. I can't wait to see him develop more. I remember in the first set of X-Men films, he started out as the leader, which I really, really liked. And then they kind of made him this lovesick puppy. Like, I don't know. They kind of destroyed his character with his interactions with Jean Grey and how he took her death. I understand that he was in love with her, but they changed it in a way that just wasn't as exciting for me, especially as a person who loves Cyclops so much. Now, I know Apocalypse himself has been getting a lot of both positive and negative reviews as far as what people think of his character in this film. People think he's too small, but then there are scenes where he like grows into this massive thing. I'm not sure if that's a dream sequence that Xavier is having. Either way, it looks actually really exciting. I can't wait to see how they do Apocalypse. He actually looks like what could be the best villain on screen, probably since the Joker. He looks really, really like evil. He wants to destroy the world, or at least rid it of humans and really rise up the mutants. It looks like an exciting villain, and I can't wait to watch it on the big screen. Finally, my favorite thing about this trailer is how can we forget about Wolverine? We have to add this the tiny little bit of Wolverine. Again, I feel like this is something that they should have saved until the actual film. But of course, Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, since his tenure, I suppose, as Wolverine is ending, he's still going to do Apocalypse, and he's also going to be doing a third standalone Wolverine, which we're all guessing is going to be Old Man Logan. But it's going to be really exciting to see him again. But at the same time, I feel like they should have saved it. I feel like I understand why he's in the trailer. Well, he's not actually in the trailer, but they tease that he's in the trailer with his claws and everything. But I understand he's a massive draw to the X-Men franchise. He is essentially the big centerpiece that connects all of the X-Men movies, both the older ones and the newer ones. But I feel like it could have been saved. They kind of ruined it just a tiny bit. We all were kind of speculating, is he going to be in the movie? Is he not going to be in the movie? But now that we know, I feel like that excitement and anxiety is kind of gone. I'm a little bit disappointed, but at the same time, I'm super excited to see what they're going to do with the character. Also, two quick things that I noticed in this trailer. Are Cyclops, Jean Grey, and Wolverine sort of in the base that was in X2? And also, have you noticed when they tease Wolverine have his claws out, is it just me or did it look kind of like it was bent? Like in other movies, it looks like they pop straight out. And this one, it looked like they're kind of angled. I'm not sure if they're going to explain that, if it's going to have a reason, if it's just something maybe I noticed. I don't know, it just seemed a little bit off to me. I'm still super excited, but it seems a little bit weird to me. So I want to see if there's an explanation for that one. So what I'm least excited about for this film is probably going to be Jennifer Lawrence. I know the internet will probably hate me for saying that because she is the internet's favorite thing because she's so relatable and this and that. But I don't really like Jennifer Lawrence. I've had enough of her. I think she's great as Mystique, but I don't think Mystique is going to be needs to be that central character, kind of like Wolverine is. I feel like it's not really necessary. She's on the side of good, and she's on the side of bad. In the prequel, well, they're not really prequels. In the early 2000 version, she's on the villain side. In this version, it seemed like she kind of went back and forth, but mainly stayed on the side of good. I think, like I said before, they're trying to make her like that Wolverine character where they try to replace her and make her the central character, but I just don't think Mystique was the right way to go. I understand that she's a very conflicted character. Maybe that's relatable to a lot of people, but I just am not a big fan of Jennifer Lawrence in really anything. If they're going to make a central character, I think the best person to do it, instead of being Wolverine, just go with Deadpool. He seems like he can kind of connect the whole universe. He kind of did it in his own standalone when he went to the Xavier School and talked to Colossus and Negasonic Teenage Warhead. It looks like he could be that central piece. He doesn't always have to be the central character. He doesn't have to be the main piece, but he can be the one that kind of connects all of these characters together and all the films together. So it kind of creates like this spider web, kind of like how they did with Wolverine, but instead of replacing him with Mystique, put in Deadpool. I think it would be a lot more fun that way. And speaking of Mystique, and earlier I said Nightcrawler, there's a scene in this trailer that kind of confuses me. Mystique meets up with Nightcrawler and they like poof out of this fight club type of thing and into an alley. And he has this shocked look on his face like, you're her. Now, Nightcrawler is the son of Mystique in the comic books. I believe the dad was Azrael from First Class, if I'm not wrong. But obviously Jennifer Lawrence's Mystique is way too young to be having a kid in this franchise. So my big question is Nightcrawler actually going to be her son? Are they going to kind of connect it in some way? Or is it just going to be like he knows her from TV and he can identify her? I'm not entirely sure what storyline they're going to go with there, and it kind of confuses me a little bit, but I guess we're just going to have to wait and see what happens in the movie. So guys, I keep getting more and more excited to see X-Men Apocalypse when it comes out on May 27th. I can't wait to see what they do with the franchise. I thought First Class was amazing, and then Days of Future Past just blew that one out of the water. I'm hoping Apocalypse can build on it even more. It's this whole reboot, sort of back in time thing that they're doing has really been a lot of fun. It fixes a lot of the plot holes that they had in the original series that started in the earlier 2000s. So I definitely can't wait to see if they can build on it even more, make it more action-packed, make it more fun. It looks like a great time and I can't wait to see it. Let me know what you guys think about this film in the comments below. And like always, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.